Hello, SpaceWatchers, and welcome back to a new episode of Space Café Radio. I'm Emma Gatti, a contributing editor at SpaceWatch.Global, and today we're going to take you to no less of a destination than Mars. This is our first episode of our coverage of the Amadi 20 mission, which started on the 4th of October. Amadi 20, for those of you that don't know yet, is a Mars analog simulation based in the Negev Desert in Israel. The mission is managed by the Austrian Space Forum and is hosted by the Israeli Space Agency. Our guest today is Ms. Olivia Haider, a board member of the Austrian Space Forum and of the Amadi 20 mission Mediacom at the Mission Support Center, which is based in Innsbruck. Olivia, welcome to Space Café Radio and thank you for joining us today. Hello.
Hello, Emma. Thank you for having me.
And first of all, I think congratulations to you and to all the Amadi 20 team are needed because you guys just received a video message from the ESA Director General Josef Haschbacher that congratulated the Austrian Space Forum for the high international visibility of the mission. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. That was really a boost in our motivation as well to receive from Josef a message which really stresses out the international collaboration we also having during the Amadi 20 mission.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So if I can start by giving the listeners a sense of the scale of the mission by maybe presenting just a few numbers. So 4 is the number of weeks the analog astronauts will spend in isolation, 6 crew members, 20 experiments, and 100 researchers from 25 countries involved. So these are obviously a lot of people and a lot of effort. What are you doing this? What's the idea behind Amadi 20?
Amadi 20 is our analog research program. So Amadi 20 is not our first analog mission. It's already our 13th mission. So we have quite a long heritage in doing analog research. Analog research is a perfect opportunity also for smaller countries to get into human spaceflight, because we can train on Earth and simulate on Earth how it would be on Mars and learn about things not to do, optimize the workflows, and so on. And we have quite a heritage in doing these analog missions and also quite some scientific publications on that one. So in the community, we are known about our analog research. And if you talk to other people in this section, they will always refer also to the Austrian Space Forum, because we are, after the Mars Society, one of the first doing this strong and high-fidelity Mars simulation.
So the idea is to create a situation that is as close as possible to humans going to Mars and make as mistakes as possible, fundamentally, just to do them here when it's cheaper than making them on Mars. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, true. So it's much cheaper to make the failures on Earth, and there's so many things which are going wrong.
Absolutely.
Not only the spacesuits, but also from the procedures, from the workflows which you have to establish, because Mars is much farther away than the Moon. And if you want to talk to somebody on Mars, you cannot do this in a direct way like we are doing now on the Space Café Radio. But there is a time delay, like light needs some time to travel to Mars and back. In worst case scenarios, it's one way. So what we are doing is also simulating this time delay with a 10-minute time delay. And all our communication is done text-based, and we do not really talk to our analog astronauts on Mars. We only have text-based, like chat communication.
And can you explain us a bit more how is the setup of the mission? Where are they living? A bit how it works.
Okay. First of all, we have a Mars habitat in the Negev Desert in Israel. Maybe you heard of the Ramon crater, which is a really fantastic geological structure which resembles craters on Mars. And in this Ramon crater, there's a habitat. This habitat was constructed by the DMAS group with support of the Israel Space Agency and was now adapted and made bigger for the mission. So we have 6 analog astronauts, 5 men and 1 woman, who are living inside this habitat. Since last week, they are now also in isolation. That means they're only allowed to go outside while wearing a spacesuit. And otherwise, they're in their habitat. That's one part of the mission. Then in Israel as well, we have an on-site support team. this team is, we call them ghosts of Mars because they help the analog astronauts, but they don't interact with them. Like things which would be done automatically on Mars by robots or other robotic things, they help them, for example, switching on Wi-Fi routers, which we need for our communication. On Earth, we have the Mission Support Center. That's where I am. So we have also full teams of flight controllers, of flight planners, of scientists, and media people like myself who are supporting the mission, but with a 10-minute time delay. So we get no direct telemetry from Mars. We always get it time delayed.
I was just about to ask, how is it working, the 10 minutes gap to simulate the Earth-Mars distance? You actually do have the delay.
Yeah, you can program it in the software, especially we are using chat-based communication. So there's a chat who sends messages 10 minutes time delay, depending where you are. Like when you're on Mars, you receive the messages 10 minutes later from Earth and vice versa. The same is also for helmet carriers we get from the spacesuits. They time delay. So this can be done via software, via programming. That's not a problem.
And are you working on Mars days or Earth days? How does it work?
We work on Earth days. So we do not simulate the difference in the day length. Because for our simulation expert, this is not necessary. So we have normal days and we start early in the morning. In the recent days, we tend to start earlier in the morning, especially on Israel, on Mars side, to escape the heat. It's a little bit hotter than expected during MD20, so we try to shift the EVAs in the morning, where it's not as hot as in the afternoon. So we start quite early, and we finish also quite late, so that the days are quite long. But we want to fit in as much science as possible, and
Yeah, because I was wondering, because I thought sunrise and sunset are going to be an issue. They cannot simulate that. It's too difficult.
No.
I have a curiosity. I just went to see the profiles of the crew members and I noticed that they're all scuba or free water divers. Is this a characteristic that is needed among astronauts?
No, I don't think so. I think people who want to become astronauts or analog astronauts also do additional things like learning diving or getting a pilot license, because you get also a different aspect. I myself, I am a diver, so if you go diving, you also are not on this world. You are swimming in the water, you have a little bit of neutral buoyancy, and this is also an interesting aspect, especially for analog astronauts, to get a different mindset, I would say. You have your equipment on, you have quite a lot of stuff to support diving. So I think it's also a good simulation aspect for planetary analogs, so to say.
See, just for the record, scuba diving is one of the things that most terrifies me in life. So maybe these already disqualify me from the list of astronauts.
But there are a lot of other things which are necessary. This is only one aspect.
Okay. So I have to ask this question. I'm just super curious about the spacesuit. This special prototype specifically built for Mars. Can you tell us something about what's required for a spacesuit for people living on Mars?
So we have built the spacesuit simulator, which mimics everything you would need to work on Mars. So that means you have several layers, the underwear, and we have an exoskeleton because we have to mimic the pressure you would have in the spacesuit, and an outer layer, which also supports you from like psychometrics and so on. It's similar to the planetary spacesuit the Apollo astronauts have been worn, but for Mars they would be much lighter because Mars has more gravity than the Moon has. But you need something which protects you from all the radiation and the harsh environment, because you cannot go just with your normal coat outside on Mars. There's not the right pressure, there's not the right air, not the right atmosphere where you can survive, and therefore you need a spacesuit which can protect you from all these.
Is it climate control? Olivia, my final goal is just to have a climate control sweater for the winter. So please tell me, am I going to have it in 5 years' time or not?
Not sure.
Let's say no. You're crushing my hopes.
Well, if you want to wear like a 50 kilogram climate control coat, then feel free to come to us and wear a spacesuit. So that's an issue at the moment because there are many things you have to think about. The spacesuit is like a spacesuit to wear. You have everything you need with the spacesuit. You even can drink. You can go on the toilet. You have all the information displayed. Yeah, and so it's quite heavy with 50 kilograms, quite on the limit what people can wear over several hours.
Yeah, more than that, exactly. Last question. What would be for you the worst thing that could happen as a provision? Like the worst case scenario?
In our Simulate Mars
yes,
mission?
Exactly.
Generally?
In the Simulate Mars mission.
I really hope it never happens. So knocking on wood here. The worst case is, of course, if an accident happens or somebody gets injured. Of course, the spacesuit simulator, heavy, it is a risk going outside with a limited view because you have a helmet on. So there are things they can happen, especially when they're driving with their quad bikes to go to places which are farther away. So this would be, of course, a worst case scenario. That's why we have also our 3S principles: safety, science, simulation. That means safety is always first, and we always have safety people around, which in any case can help if something happens.
Well, thank you very much, Olivia, for this fascinating insight into Amadi 20 mission. This is the end of our episode, but we will be back to talk about Amadi 20 next time, about life in the Mars Analog Station and the process the astronauts are going through. Olivia, thank you very much for your precious time, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Mission Control again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye. And this is all from Space Café Radio. Till next time. Bye.